Welcome back to another edition of Humble Dad, episode number 65. Road to 100 before the end of 2021. Got a special guest with me. Been rocking with him since college. I ain't gonna tell you how long ago that was. You know what I'm saying? And since then, he has done some incredible things, like become Teacher of the Year in his school and school district, which is an amazing thing when you think about it. And not only that, he's a dad, obviously. And when I see him, you know, on Facebook and things of that nature, I can see how he's parenting, and even his wife speaks highly of him. And when your wife speaks highly of you as a father, then you know you're doing something well. And I'm gonna introduce none other than Mr. Deldrick. What it is, man.
What it is, my brother. Good to see you as always.
Yeah, for sure, man. I really appreciate you being on. Like I said before, anytime somebody gives me some time, I value it, and I'm going to make the most of it. So I appreciate
no
it.
doubt.
That's what's up. So let's tell the people about who is Deldrick, what you got going on.
Oh man, so that's always a weird question, man. 'Cause I never know
It
where to start
is.
exactly, man.
Hey,
So it's like a job interview. Tell us about yourself,
don't you hate
man.
that question?
I cannot say that question. It's like,
So
bro, give
we
me
can
a
just say
prompt.
present. Okay, we stay in the
All right,
present, like in the last
okay,
6 months.
okay. So in the present, I'm gonna say I'm Deldrick Burley. Let's say like Elijah said, we go way back to college, which was years ago, and you know. Currently, as of 6 months ago, I was our district teacher of the year for Cedar Hill ISD, teaching secondary middle school math.
Yeah,
Since then, I've gone on to the high school, where I'm now the instructional facilitator for English language arts.
let's get it.
So, sharpening the toolbox, adding tools to it, trying to have my own school, in the very near future. So, just taking that career pathway. Um, Marriage wise, shoot, me and my wife hit 14 years this year,
That's what's
in
up.
June. So,
I
that's
didn't know we
just
got
it's
married in the same year.
yeah, oh 07,
Wow.
oh
Okay.
07.
Yeah. Okay.
Cause I think it was the 7/7. What was the anniversary?
Ours was March 12th, oh 07.
March. It was earlier in the year. Yeah. So we
Mm-hmm.
originally wanted to do 7/7/07, the day of completion, but
Got it.
I think everything that we was trying to set up was booked and everything. So but yeah, so that's 14 years in, man. It's been, incredible. It's been good. Like we've seen everything full circle. The highest highs. I can't say the lowest lows because it just, we handle things well before it gets low, before
That's what's
anything would
up.
get low. You know what I mean? So I always try to tell people I like to be a preventative maintenance person. See what I'm saying? We're on the Humble Dad podcast. My man over there, Dad, right now. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you got to do it. It sounds like it looks like virtual learning last year. So,
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm over at Daddy. Like, the 3-year-old,
oh
she wants ice cream or something. Oh, can
oh
you
yeah,
watch Paw Patrol?
always
Yes, you can
and
eat
watching Paw
dinner.
Patrol.
Go eat dinner, and then you can watch Paw Patrol.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Love you.
And Paw Patrol and ice cream, boy. That's a
Listen, close
lethal
my door.
combination.
It is, bro.
That's a
Like,
that's a
it's crazy.
lethal combination right there.
It is. Listen, I had like I'm trying to be the dad that doesn't just give her everything, which is
Right,
very
exactly.
challenging since she's a baby, right? And she's
Right,
not feeling well right now. You know what I mean?
right.
And so
And so
I
it's
had
even
to,
harder.
yeah. And I
Yeah,
wasn't necessarily the one that was typically the person she came to if she wanted something, right? It was
right,
Jen. So learning how to, how to parent her is been a challenge, but it's been another part of what you say we got to learn, put another tool in the
right,
tool belt. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
so it's just an opportunity to tell other people how to parent a 3-year-old. I remember telling these women, I said, listen, 3-year-olds were definitely made for moms.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
man. It's see, and you know what? That's subjective though, because I've
It
seen
is.
both ways, and it's different for girls. See, I don't have any
Mm.
girls. I have all boys.
I
Like
do.
two
Oh,
boys.
you don't have any. Oh, okay. I
I
have
don't
two
have
girls
any
and two
girls.
boys.
right. Yeah, see, I was saying, I know you have both, so I only have boys, so I've only really seen it from the boy side of things. I have some goddaughters, but it's different because I'm not, with them every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I have boys, and it's just at the 3-year-old stage, it was all about, cars and fighting and, wrestling, doing all those
Yes.
different things. So,
Yes.
it wasn't as, difficult as might have been with girls, but I really feel
For
you
sure.
on how you just, what you just said was not trying to give them, everything that they asked for. You know what I mean? It's just because, and I honestly, our kids, they have it far better than we did. You know what I mean? So,
Which is okay. That's what we wanted, right?
right, right, and that's perfectly fine. That's not to say it's a knock, but sometimes, just to help remain humble, remain, grateful for things. Sometimes the answers just got to be no. And
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't need a full explanation of why I'm saying no. You know what I mean? It's just, hey, you know what? The answer is no this time. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, but
Yeah.
I
Because
know
they
in
gonna
my
ask
heart,
why.
of course, it's gonna be a why. Even your wife might chime in. Well, why can't they do it? Well, hey, listen. I want them to appreciate things and to be grateful for things. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not always trying to be, just extra stern or extra tough for no reason. It's always a reason, behind things because I really want them to grasp appreciating things and understanding, that it's a blessing to have things and understand that, you're fortunate, to be in the position that you're in, and
Mm,
sometimes you're not always going to get everything that you want or everything that you ask for. So I don't want them to
100.
leave the house thinking that, well, I usually get everything that I want. So that's how the world is going to be when I go out to the world, so
Absolutely.
that's, because I'm, like I said, I'm in schools and, you've been there, so you see how things have gotten in schools and it's really just a bunch of, entitlement, a bunch of entitlement going on. And that's, I
Yeah.
really want my boys to understand, you're not entitled to everything. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So
yeah.
that's I know we jumped right in. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's good though.
let me
I
go
know
back.
that we. Yeah. We
Yeah,
good,
so I'll
bro.
just
Like
go
I'm
back a
listening.
little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I know, but I didn't tell the people, my kids, my age. I got my oldest son, David. He turned 9 in July, and then my youngest son, Daniel, he just turned 5 in October.
That's what's
Um,
up, bro.
the 9-year-old looks 12, and the 5-year-old looks 8. So
I mean, you're a big dude, bro. You know what I'm saying?
right, but I'm
like,
saying so you're like, oh well, they're tall, they're big. Like, well, I mean, I'm 6'5" and I'm a big dude, so what
what you
what
expect?
it's to be expected.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting because I got a 7 year old who is this. Well, he'll be 8 in January, but he's as tall as his 10-year-old brother. You know what I mean?
wow,
And I'm not a tall dude by any means, but my granddad was 6'5". My
right.
dad
So
is
he's
six
gonna be the
foot.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
and
gonna be
then
the one.
yeah, he gonna be the one that's tall. But it's interesting though,
Right.
he hasn't grown into his body, right? So he's kind of lanky or whatever. And then his
Hmm.
brother is an athlete, and so
Right.
he looks up to Big Brother. So he's trying to get to that point of where he can do the things that his brother does. So
Right.
yeah, height wise, bro, like he gonna have it because
Yeah,
it
he's gonna be
definitely
there. He's
it
gonna
skipped
come
me
out of
for sure.
nowhere. And that's how it was like with me. Like my mama was only, about 5'6", 5'7", and my
Yeah.
pops was only about 5'10", maybe on a
Oh
good day.
wow.
And
So you
so,
have siblings?
yeah, and they both short. Like my brother's only about 5'6", and my sister's only about, 5'6". Yeah, so I was the freak. I
Wow.
came out of nowhere. But
Wow.
apparently they had my mom and them had an Uncle Bubba who was like
Okay.
6'7",
Okay.
way, down the line. So I guess, I got it from there because my paternal grandfather, he's very short. He's only like 5'4", 5'5". So
Wow, that's
yeah, I just
crazy. That's
right out of
crazy.
nowhere.
That's what's up. So we'll go back to the first question, which is, what do you feel like the difference between a dad and a father is?
So dad can really be, anybody. You know what I mean? A
Okay.
dad can really be anybody that, you know, has kids. By nature, that makes you a dad. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
a father is it's more to it. Than that. It's more to it than just being a dad. And
Mm,
that's something that I had to learn. Still learning. On the fly because I
mm.
didn't really have much of that. You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
but the father has to be there to cultivate. To one of the things I asked my son. Like probably about a month or two ago. Just what are three things that you want to get better at, that you want to improve at? Because I
Mm.
want to meet him where he is now and help him to improve.
Oh, that's
On
a
those
dope
things that
question.
that he wants to improve at because that's just if it's something that a father does helps you to grow, helps you to be prepared for what life may throw at you.
Mm,
Dad, this daddy, anybody can yeah, that's my daddy over there, but it could be a but in that that's my daddy, but he don't live with us. That's my daddy, but I don't really know him like that, or but
mm.
the father is it's a little bit more than that.
That's interesting. The reason why I say it's interesting is because if you listen to any of the other podcasts, you'll hear uh, dads or fathers say something different, right? And I just really enjoy hearing people's
Right,
perspective on that particular question because it's not something that we dialogue. It's not a barbershop question. It's just something that that
right,
just comes out and we do what we do, not expecting to be okay. Well, okay. Am I a father or am I a dad? Right. It's not a thing that we're thinking about. We're just trying to do our
right.
take care of our job. Right. So you talked about that you didn't have that when you were younger. What did you mean by you didn't have that?
Well, see, like I met my natural father when I was 15. But
Okay.
my little brother's father, he was married to a mom, so he was there, but it was a different dynamic. There wasn't much, teaching. There wasn't much, it was really abusive, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Okay.
But but it wasn't. He was a man in the house. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But as far as our relationship, in the early years, it wasn't a good one. We're cool now. We're good now. But
Mm.
yeah, just growing up, it wasn't a very positive relationship.
So what do you think was going on? Like what was going on with you? What would you say that if you could look back, what I learned or how I was in that scenario? We'll go with that. How were you in that scenario? I guess until you met your biological father, like what was the going on with you internally? Not necessarily because of your stepfather, but just you as an
But
individual.
just what was like so as an individual growing up, I was a middle kid. So
Okay.
sometimes, I had felt I had to work harder than everybody else.
Okay.
And that's just, my family's a lot of women, you know, across the board. 7 aunts, one uncle, too many girl cousins to count. I had one boy cousin really growing up. So,
Yeah.
it was, that
One,
alone.
one boy
Yeah,
cousin.
and
Okay,
on my mom's
all
side, I
right,
had one boy
I'm with
cousin,
you. Wow.
and
Okay.
I mean, and he had three sisters.
Okay.
So that alone was a interesting dynamic.
Okay.
So, got forced into, just being a man, early, just because the family's all women, and having to, help with this, do that, it's a lot, that
Yeah.
we had to do just because it was all women, and I was trained to, hey, we're not lazy people, we need men need to work, we need to serve, we need to do this and do that. So,
Yeah.
um, but being a middle kid, my older sister, she's the oldest, so she gonna get, attention, preferential treatment. Then my little brother, he was the youngest, and he was the only one that was naturally born to my mom and his
Mm,
dad. You know what I mean? So
I see.
he was the only one that they shared. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that alone, he's the youngest and he's the one they shared. Not saying that they intentionally did anything, but that was just a weird dynamic because I was just in the middle.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
I felt like I had to work harder. I was pretty much a straight A student. Um, and I needed to be good enough. You know what I mean? So that gave me a work ethic, that I try to hold on to today because, you know, sometimes I just felt like, being overlooked. So I gotta do
Mm.
this so I can at least be seen. Because if I was just an average student, I don't know if, I would have been seen necessarily.
Okay, I got you. I'm rocking with you. So when you get to be 15 and you meet your biological dad, like take me through that moment.
So I met him, just randomly at one of my any house on his side. And
Mm,
it was a little awkward, a little weird at first. And he had said that, he had came to some football games and stuff. He had been to certain stuff. I just didn't know it, but he was there.
that's
So I
crazy.
didn't know whether to believe it or not because I'm like, oh,
Right.
maybe you saying something. I mean, are you just saying that to make yourself feel better or make yourself look good or what? But
Yeah.
it was, bit of a shaky start seeing him, every so often. But I didn't really get cool with him until like I was almost about to graduate college. Like it was 21 in Nacogdoches and he drove trucks. So that was one of the reasons he was never really around because he does
Yeah.
long haul. Well, he did. He retired
Okay.
now, but he did like the long haul truck driving. So, he's one of the ones that's like all over the state. I mean, all over the
Mm,
country. So,
okay.
I was what? I got about 21, like junior year in college. He actually, 'cause we exchanged information and whatnot, and he called and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be coming through, Nacogdoches." And I was like,
Mm,
"Okay, cool, we'll meet up, yada yada yada." So I met up with him then, and I was at a point in my life then where I was like, you know what? I don't even. It's not even my place to ask, what happened with you and my mama back then, or where you been that whole time, and this and this and that. And I was like, you know what? It can start now. You know what I mean?
mm. What makes you be that?
Regardless of
I just want to know. I know I'm gonna interrupt right there because the reason why is because that's one of the challenges that I have, and so you may have to help me with this. Like, since though my dad was not in the picture, and there's for me there remain questions, and so for you, how did you get to the point of saying, well, I don't have to know the why, I just want to start here and move forward? Like, how did that arrive?
one, that was a critical point in life where I really, got serious about God and got serious about, just
Mm,
being better in my own life. So just through all of the self-reflecting and mistakes and whatnot that I had made, and I still to this day there's some stuff that I want to answer for, and have to explain to somebody of why I
okay.
was this way or why I did this or that. So I just felt like knowing the past and this and that wasn't going to change anything because
Mm,
I'm here now, you're here now. What good is dwelling on the past going to do?
wow.
I was at a point where I wanted that relationship, and knowing the past behind it might have gotten me out of the point to where I didn't no longer want the relationship. If that
Wow.
makes sense. It's like,
Mm,
it's
mm,
like here I am, I want to go forward, I want to move forward with a relationship, but if I find out, why you weren't there or that you lived the next street over my whole life and I didn't know, stuff like that, all of those aggressive feelings would have came back up like, well, shoot, you were here the whole time, so why didn't you say this or why didn't you just show up or this and this and that? So it was a point that I got to peace with not knowing, everything from the past,
mm.
and
Thank you so much for sharing that.
it was oh yeah, and I didn't have to know, I didn't have to think about what everybody else felt about it or who was mad at him or whatever the case, because at the end of the day, it's not about everybody else. Yes,
Mm.
some things might
Talk
have been
that.
done in the past. Yeah, it might have been done in the past where you hurt somebody or you hurt my mama or the family didn't like you. And none of this was said to me. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you've seen enough movies, you've seen enough Tyler Perry movies to know, what the situation could have been. So, but I was just
That's
like,
funny. Yeah.
I don't need to know all the details, for us to have a relationship
That's very
because I'm
helpful,
not here
man.
to repair. Yes, I'm not here to repair the relationships, that you had in the past. I'm trying to, work on ours. So from that moment, we kept in contact till I graduated. We moved to Little Rock. Him and his wife came through, a couple of times, and once we moved back here, we've been pretty tight
That's phenomenal.
ever since.
That is phenomenal, and why I would say that, big ups to you, because that is one of the things I have not heard when I'm talking to men about their dysfunctional relationship with their father, their dad. Like we got to know the why, you know, and it
Right.
reminds me of, if I could take to the story of Job, like, like answering the question why doesn't change what happened so long ago, and
Exactly.
it could determine how I view you, because if I now know the
Exactly. That
why.
part.
Yeah, and so when you said that hit me hard, bro, because that's what I've been struggling with my father, and I'm supposed to be meeting with him next month. And that was one of the things that I was going to be trying to figure out and have answers to. But here you are telling me,
Right.
like, like the why don't matter. Why can't we just focus on the now and move forward? So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That wasn't even scripted, right? So let's
Right.
talk
I like
about
how you put
you.
that.
For sure. And I appreciate that. So let's talk about, how you have become into this father dad role. Like, talk to me about when you discovered you were about to be a dad for the first time.
Man, it was an amazing feeling. Just because, we were actually married, 6 years before we even had kids,
Mm,
and it was, I tell you, the first pregnancy with David, about 5 weeks in, we went to the doctor and basically, he was like, yeah, I should see this or that. So there's nothing there. And basically, you're going to go home and you're going to bleed out. And, you know, whatever you thought was there is gone.
what?
He was real smug and rude. Hey, man, let me tell you, I ain't going to put him on
Wow.
blast. I ain't going to put his name out there, but his
Wow.
bedside manners were horrible. His bedside manner. I
Mm,
mean, you're in here telling a woman she's essentially had or about to have a miscarriage, and there was like no heart behind it, no remorse. It's like it was robotic.
wow.
It's like you programmed to say this. So,
Wow.
it was disheartening. At first when I first found out, it was just, it was a man. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. And God had told me long ago that my first child was going to be a boy in the name of David. And I already
Okay.
knew that. So I had already named this child David.
Mm.
Even before we knew the sex. I already knew. So
What?
right, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Oh yeah,
That's
soon as she, showed me the pregnancy stick, I already knew. Oh yeah, that's David.
yeah.
So
Wow.
I wasn't about to, let that name die, quote unquote, with what the doctor said,
Yeah.
because I didn't want, to believe that what he was saying. And I really, in my flesh, wanted to stare off on him in his face just because the way he delivered it. I did. I really
Mm.
did. It took a whole lot of restraint and a whole lot of God to hold my hand
Yeah,
because I
for
really,
sure.
really, really wanted to just hit him in the face for
I
how
can
his
understand.
delivery was. And
Yeah.
man, I'll tell you, that was one of the worst feelings that I've had in my life.
Mm.
Not knowing how to be there to support my wife through that,
Yeah.
because that was, a week of, hey, we've gotten excited about this, and then, oh, wait a minute,
Now,
just
yeah.
like that, it's snatched away.
Yeah.
And that's one of those points as a man, and you know how it is. You can't. I have a complex to where I want to fix everything.
Yeah,
And
for
my
sure.
wife she had to teach me sometimes I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to listen
Need you to listen.
and be there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was a situation where honestly I didn't even know how to be there. Like I didn't want to say anything. I didn't know what to do. I honestly flat out did not know what to do. It's just like you
Mm.
just,
Okay.
and I couldn't be upset with, I'm not upset with her and nothing like that, but it was just, that hit her hard, You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
her demeanor was always just, it was sadness.
Yeah.
And I was at a loss. Like I did not know how to do it. So days went by with, no bleeding, no blood, no this or that.
Hmm.
A week went by, and I'm like, I don't care what he said, man. This ain't the end. God, I told her that that's a God wouldn't bring us this far, give us that hope to snatch it away like that. Because she was
Mm.
a week before we found out she was supposed to have like a abdominal surgery on, removing some internal things, but it was just like, wow. So we found this out before, the procedure. So okay, well, it must
Wow.
be real. And through that week, I kept telling myself that. I didn't say it out loud too much. I said it like once or twice, but internally, I'm like, forget what he said, man. I know that, God didn't put us in this situation just to hurt us like that.
Mm. Mm.
So man, we went back a week later and he said, well, I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's right there what I'm supposed to see. Here's your, your yolk sac, there's
That's
the
crazy.
whatever you called it. I was like, yes. See that?
That's
And
crazy.
I wanted to just the fleshly and just wanted to just go off on him, but to this day, I still. Oh yeah, yeah. When David was born, I wanted to be petty enough to go by his office every day and just hold David up like Simba and
Oh
say,
my
"Look, this is what you said.
God.
What wasn't going to be here?" So I want to walk his big buddy in there now and just say, "Hey, look, this is what you said wasn't going to be here." And
Wow.
so yeah, man, it was an incredible feeling to see that, and then things just took off from there. The levels every week was just growing, and
Yeah.
he fought, he got here, and to
Listen,
his history since.
listen, you should see you light up talking about it. That and this is one of the reasons for the show. Like I want men and women to see that these us dads out here, we love our kids. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So they
Right,
don't have to do anything great. You know what I mean? They just we just love them because they're our kids, right?
because they're
And
here. Yeah.
yeah, because they're here. Exactly, because they're here. So now that you've had this experience of being a dad for the past 9 years, talk to me about like what has been some of the good dad moments, and then talk to me about when you just missed the mark moments.
Cool. So I mean, obviously the great dad moments, man, is just standing back and just watching them just be, you know.
Mm.
Um, walking the first time walking and you know, honestly all his cousins were older than him. So just seeing David, follow around them and, try to play with them and roughhousing with them and all of that, all of that fun stuff is just is great. He's very cerebral and smart, just like me. And
I
loves
see
math.
you pat yourself on the back real quick. I
Hey,
feel you.
I had to plug that real quick.
That's
But
what's up.
and my wife is too, so it
Yeah,
is bound to happen. But I honestly like take joy listening to him like externalize math problems and like he's doing something
bro.
and I hear him just going through the process just okay, so if I can split up 45 9 times, then that's gonna be five apiece. Da, da, da. I mean, just listening to him, I'm just like, yes, yes.
Yeah, bro. Like no, my
So
kids don't. I was a math teacher, and none of my kids like math,
right,
but they know how to do it. Oh, wait, sorry. My 7 year
right,
old he likes math.
right,
And Joshua kind of like it. Gianna don't like it, but she's good at it. Like she knows how to
right.
reduce fractions in her head. How about that?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's wonderful.
I
Yeah, it's like I'll do it. I'm not saying I enjoy it, but I'll do it.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
That's what's up.
that's
Okay.
so that part is all good, man. And just like I said, I remember, and I can admit this as a man, like David was about three or four. No, think about three, going on four. And we were down in Victoria at one of her cousins, little birthday party they had. And I was just standing there, almost teared up just watching them jump in the bounce house. I was just like, hey, and just because he was having a good time and just jumping and in my head I just started thinking, and he said you wasn't gonna make it. And he said you wasn't even supposed to be here, but
Wow.
that's just good moments. So love all of that stuff, man, and then just teaching them to do stuff, um, and just trying to help them, to be even better. I think do I miss the mark the most? Sometimes it's I'm overly stern sometimes,
Mm,
and it's not. It's and it's for a cause. You know what I mean? Like we talked earlier. Sometimes just the answer is no, and
yeah.
sometimes I want them to be grateful for things, and there's a lot of just like the school system right now. That affected me greatly when I started teaching and just seeing how unruly, ungrateful,
Mm.
entitled, spoiled, some of these kids are. I mean,
So you
seriously,
looking
like,
for
this is
more
just real,
adjectives? I'm
real
saying
talk.
I'm laughing because you
Right,
gave a lot of
yeah,
adjectives.
right.
Because I
Hey,
know, you know what I'm
because hey,
saying?
I'm saying but anybody out
Yeah.
there that don't know, man, just take a walk through some of these schools and just see, what it is. So, um, sometimes I think I can come across just overly hard.
Okay.
But and I'm not really apologetic about it just because I know where I'm trying to get them to. You know what
Mm,
I mean? I want them
yeah.
to understand that, hey, you shouldn't have a sense of entitlement. You should be grateful for things, and everything is not always going to go your way and things like that. Because I'm in a school now, at the high school, where there's a lot of kids that just don't have any order, and they used to things going their way, or it's just a lot of disrespect right now, and I'm
I
trying to
heard about
avoid
that.
that, but I know,
Yeah.
oh yeah, man, it's the school system is, man, and it's not just us, so don't think I'm just putting
Oh,
us
no,
on
no, no.
blast, 'cause it's
Bro, I
everywhere, but
listen, I know. I
yeah,
know.
it's everywhere. So
So how has that helped you in your so that's what you're saying, that's helped you in your house, because you're saying this is what I see in the hallways and I don't want this to be what my kids are. Is that what you're
right,
saying? Mm, okay.
basically, yeah,
Yeah. And
basically,
also
yeah.
to that point, I was talking to somebody today. Um, one of the things that that I remember most about this conversation with uh, with my wife. Do you remember Kirk Cameron?
Uh-huh.
He was on Growing Pain, and so he does like marital counseling or just all these different types of talks or whatever. And one of the things that he said, I don't know how long ago it was, but he said, parents, you got to remember that you are raising somebody's husband and wife.
True,
It's
true.
like,
That's
and
very true.
that
That
changed my
that
perspective.
that's
When
it
you hear
is,
that,
and that's why
when you hear that, what do you think? What comes to your mind?
when I what comes to mind is like I'm hard on my older son now and my younger son too, just because I don't want to be, sorry. I don't want them to have, now, they're in a totally different era than, we grew up, and I get it. You
Yeah,
grew up where it was just, hey, this is what it's gonna be, this is what it is. And you started doing chores, at 2, as soon as you walk, and waking up to comment all over the place and had to clean bathrooms and dishes, and we try to, like we said earlier, they have it better than we did. But a part of me, just like you said, you raising somebody's husband, you raising somebody's wife. A part of me is like, okay, we got to get back to some of that old school, discipline, some of that old school order, because the one
100.
thing I don't want my boys to be is sorry. I don't want them running away when there's work to do. I don't want them, sitting around waiting on somebody else to do something for them. Um,
Yeah.
and like I said, like I think, and I can be honest, I'll admit, after some time goes by and I think about it, sometimes I'm a little too harsh, with my words. Like my son had a,
Mm.
problem tying his shoes. And I'm like,
Oh, bro,
no,
go ahead.
don't tie that shoe for him. He You too old to not be tying your shoes.
Yeah,
My wife, she'll point it out, that's not, helpful to tell them that, this and that. But I struggle sometimes because I'm like, no, you gotta hear it, you gotta get it real. You
yeah,
can't sugarcoat everything, you can't be soft,
yeah.
but like I said, I'm still working on finding that balance. You know what I mean?
That's why it's good for you to have a wife.
Right. Oh
and,
yes.
and,
Oh
and
yes.
vice
And
versa. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of
right,
soft dudes that it's really
right.
the grace of God that I'm not a soft dude in that regard. I think also for me, what happened was, and I was talking to, I don't know who it was, maybe in gym, but somebody. I was saying, listen, I being raised by a single mother. How did I come to the point of not what I called, but I was called an alpha male, right? Like it's like
Right.
I'm cool with arguments. I'm cool with awkward moments. I don't get frustrated like that, right? And somebody asked me, where did I get that from if I didn't have a father figure? And what it was, I found out that I got it from my frat brothers because I was around
Got
them
it.
so often
Yeah.
in college. You know them, you know what I'm saying? And so I was
Yeah.
seeing how
You
they
picked up on
and that was like and I saw how they were being men in the midst of all the other people and they responded differently. So
it.
it
Right.
is that important for men to be in kids' lives, even if it's not their
Yeah.
father. You know what I'm saying? And so because
Absolutely.
before that, I think I would have been really soft. I approach
Got you.
people differently. I didn't look in eye to eye. Like I'm still working on the eye to eye thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh,
That's a
but
little
it's
weird
just so,
sometimes. Yeah. That's a little weird
dude.
sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. When you're trying to
Yeah.
eye to
No.
eye
That's
a grown
yeah.
man,
It's a little weird to somebody. Yeah. It's a little weird sometimes.
yes,
Yeah. I have no
thank you.
problem admitting that. That's a
I,
little weird
I,
sometimes, but
I appreciate
you
you
know.
holding me down with that one because I was trying to tell somebody like,
Oh
listen, man,
yeah.
I like looking
There's
away makes
times
sense to
for
me.
it. Yeah, there's times where when you first meet somebody and that first handshake, yes, straight eye to
Yeah,
eye, firm handshake. But that's weird to stand there and look at somebody straight eye to eye while you're talking the whole time, man. That's a little odd. That's a little
thank you,
odd.
bro. Listen, I
Yeah,
might clip
that's a
this and
little
show it to
odd.
them, bro, for sure. So when you so so that's funny. I try to transition. That is odd. So I guess that's
Yeah,
what
it's
I
a little
had.
odd
I
sometimes.
was trying to I was trying to explain that, but I guess I didn't explain that well to the person that was telling me I need to make sure that I make eye contact. So yes, sometimes
Right.
dead on, but all the time, the entire talk like that
Yeah,
look
come
weird,
on,
bro.
nah.
It feels
That's
weird.
not
Like
realistic, man.
listen, I tried it
Yeah.
today. And I was like, why, man? It feels weird to just stare at it
It
while I'm
does.
talking to this dude.
Right.
Now, a
Right.
woman is different. Like I can stare at a woman. I should be able to stare at a woman and talk to her. Right? That's a
Right.
little
Because
bit
they
different. Yeah.
internalize things different. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely weird, man. It's natural to look away. I mean, part of your thought process is while you're having the conversation. You're up left. It's your creative mind. Up right is your memory. So it's natural to look away
Mm,
every now and then.
that's what's
It's
up.
not
Hey,
possible to just whole
listen.
time straight eye to eye contact, man.
Thank you for that lesson, bro. I'm definitely
Yeah.
using that one in
But
my tool belt. So as a dad,
oh,
what?
do that,
So
man.
yeah, I am. So we almost to a point where I have to ask you some other questions, but I'm very intrigued about how I want you to hear. I'm intrigued about your answer to this question that I've at. You're the third educate, maybe fourth in a row to this yesterday and today, men that are educators, and so this is what I told both of them, and you're free to always agree to disagree. I said that I believe that dads make the best educators. Your thoughts?
You know what? I agree. I agree because your kids are gonna view you as that. Whether you
Okay.
want to accept that or not, they're going to view you as that. And I think that, and not to say moms don't or single parents can't be, that's
No, that's
not
not what I'm saying. Just saying
putting
that they're
anybody
better.
down. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know, but
Okay.
this is cancel culture, so you always gotta, you
That's
know,
fair.
don't leave
Preface just
anybody
say
out. Everyone, yeah, everyone can be a great teacher. This is not to say that any particular person, gender, race, whatever, cannot be a good teacher. Hey, you got to cover all balance.
Okay,
Because then
100. I
somebody will
appreciate
find this
that.
one clip. Oh, he said only dads can be teachers. And next thing you know,
Mm.
we getting donkey of the day, or we, you know, on cancel
Gotcha.
culture, and we ain't even nobody to be canceled. But
Right.
somebody will find a clip and just post that one clip. Yeah, dads are the best teachers. And oh, so
Good
nobody
point.
else can be a teacher. I'm a single mother, and I've been teaching 30 years. Okay, so yeah, so I preface
I
that by
appreciate
saying,
that.
um, I think being a dad, I think some dads, are better teachers because we can provide that balance. The kids know that you love them, but at the same time, a lot of kids at home, especially in the community that I'm in and in the inner city community, they don't have that at home.
Yeah.
So they appreciate that balance of, hey, I can see that you love me, you hear from me, and also, ooh, you gonna get me in line. You know what I mean? And mentor you, and you know, quiet as it kept, especially in the young kids, they want that structure, they want that correction. So
Yep.
I just think that, being a dad, you automatically sort of, being a good dad, let me say that. Because
That's
anybody be a
fair.
dad, but being a good dad, you're wired to, have that balance, have that love,
Mm.
yet discipline, yet you know that I'm doing what I'm doing because I love you and I want something better for you. And I want you
That's
to
what's
make the
up.
best of yourself. So I
Mm.
think it's having that natural inside of us. The kids see that, and that's why I have, you know, 240 unofficially adopted kids. They call me pops at school, pops,
That's
this
dope.
and that.
That's what
It makes a difference. Yeah,
that's what's up. So
yeah,
what
it really
has
makes a
how
difference.
it does make a difference. How has being a teacher influenced you as a dad or father in the house?
So honestly, it made me a little more. It made me tighten the reins a little bit. Honestly, it made me a little bit more tough on them because I see every day, kids that aren't living up to their potential. Some kids who are going astray. Some kids
Mm.
who, boys that are, just like soft. And I don't mean soft as in like, punkish, but soft as in, you know, they can't stand on their own 2 feet. And that, it's just some of the generation is just sorry. And
Mm.
they, boys are disrespectful to girls. They don't know how to talk to them. They don't, they're disrespecting older, women teachers and things like that. That's what I mean by, soft. And they don't want, they have a lack of desire to do anything with themselves.
Yeah.
So it really makes me harder on my own boys because I know, firsthand what it can be, like what they can, turn into, and I don't want that for them. And that's not saying that
Mm.
all my kids are school like that, but I've seen enough to know that, man, if I'm not pushing you, if I'm not, you know, trying to help you to be the best version of you that you can be, I don't want you to get around the crowd of people that aren't and then fall into that crowd. I
Mm.
want you to always hear my voice, you know, telling you, hey, I want you to be better. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I want you to always hear my voice, but I shouldn't, I don't, I'm trying to teach them to want better, and want more for themselves,
Mm.
so
That's
you
good.
shouldn't have to go outside of the house to hear anybody say, hey, you should be this, or I want you to be this, or this and that. So when I do, say those things, I'm not saying it, to be mean. Like when I told you too old not to be tying your own shoes, or something like that, or you too old for that, to be whining about this and that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it, to be rude, so to speak,
Right.
but I'm saying it, to prepare you for what's out there. Because if you go outside like that, and somebody, sees you whining or sees you, you think they're tall as an adult, but can tie your shoe, somebody's gonna talk about you. And
Mm.
somebody's gonna, not, understand, this or that. So I try, to let them know these things, to prepare them for what's really out there, so
That's
they
what's
can
up.
be, get a desire to, all right, you know what? Maybe I am too old for this. Let me work on doing this because I'm not going to be that guy that's falling behind. I
Mhm.
don't want them, like I said, I just don't want them to be, sorry. I really like the point where you brought up, you raised somebody's husband, and yeah, you only 9 now, on the 5 now, but I want them to get a work ethic because they still working on that. They still working
Yeah,
on that. So,
yeah,
it's like, no, we got the groceries to bring in. Hey, we are going to help. We go to family functions. Hey, we got stuff to get out the car. You're not
yeah,
gonna go in here and just sit and play on the game all day. Hey, we got stuff to do, as men, and that's just coming from me where the family, like I said, growing up was all women. So, I had a lot of responsibility, and I
mm,
didn't have to be told to. That's the difference between me and, my boys now, and then a lot of just kids in this generation. We didn't have to be told to, go do things. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, somebody
not
just
more
got
than,
here,
not
or
too many, not too often.
right, exactly. Not too often. Maybe once or twice when, you're in a heated Tecmo Bowl game and, a heated Madden game or something, you might have to be told, hey, you need to go do this. Hold on, let me finish in that 30 seconds. But, it was wired different,
Yeah,
and I want them to be wired, in that way, and I struggle a little bit just because I have to understand that they are not me. You know what I mean? They're their own
mm-hmm.
individual person, and they have different interests. I mean, some of the same interests as I do, but different interests that I had at that time or that I do now. And I have to just remind myself they're not you,
Yeah,
but I'm trying to instill in them those types of characteristics just to not be, sorry, to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and not, be spoiled or entitled,
yeah,
because going to Granny house, Granny gonna give them anything they want, anything they ask for.
yeah.
Then I want them to know that that's just not how we ought to be as men.
And that's not a
You
world
ought to be
works.
able to stand in. Right, it's not the world works.
Yeah,
Men go out that's like that, he gonna get ate up out there in the real world.
100%.
So right, and I had a conversation with my wife, try to let her know, hey, I'm not just being, hard for no reason. I'm trying to build, them into men, into, you know,
They have tough
men, you know what I
skin
mean?
too.
So
Like I want
right,
them to
exactly.
know that the hardest, like like for me, I want my sons to know that there's nobody gonna be harder on them than me, and so they're
Right,
prepared for that. There was a situation
right.
where they had my son Joshua. He's very mild. He gets aggravated maybe with his sister or brother or something, but like when I'm in the room, his demeanor is really different. And but
Yeah,
he was a coach was yelling at him, you know. And I'm cool with coaches yelling. You know what I mean? I'm just from old school like that. Like if he's doing something wrong, you
right.
might want to make him
It's what
run.
it
You know what I'm
is.
saying? You might want to make
Right.
him do something else if
Exactly.
he if, you know,
Yeah.
and so he was in the car and I had asked him, I said, so, I mean, your coach was yelling at you. How did you feel about that? He's like, I mean, it is. I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? He said because
Right.
you do like he's like that's not something I'm not used to. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it is
Yeah.
just imagine if I had not had moments where I did raise my voice at him, how he have responded to his coach. You know what I mean? To
Right.
telling him something in such an aggressive manner. So I want to transition. This has been dope, bro. Like but I value your
Oh,
time. So
absolutely.
I
I
value your time.
just
So
happened to look at the time. Like it don't even seem like it's been that long.
I appreciate that. That's the whole goal, bro. And so man, I had a different question, but I'm gonna have to get to my amazing fun questions. So give me if you could give me a number between 1 and 45.
17.
Who is your most successful friend from high school or from school, any school? It doesn't have to be high school
Oh man. Most successful friend from school, high school in general.
or or
Oh
college.
man. That's tough because I mean, everybody's doing something.
Okay.
That's tough. you know, I'd say just it depends on what we saying success is. But you
Whatever
know what,
you
I'll go
determine it. You determine it.
right. You know what, I'll go with my boy Joe. I'll go with my boy Joe because he was
Joe
determined
Walker,
to, make some. Yeah, yeah. Joe Walker, big Joe Walker,
Big
Bigg
Joe.
Joe Walker.
Yeah,
Country singer.
yeah,
So yeah, I just say, man, he had a resilient, resolve about him. Like, no matter what came his way, it's like he always knew, hey, I'm gonna do something great somehow.
yeah.
And even, that I was there through the road, ups and downs and whatnot. But I mean, one thing about he gonna find a way, to do something with himself. And
That's what's up.
so yeah, but yeah, I big it up to Joe on that one.
That's what's up. All right, give me another number. I got two more questions from the numbers. Give
Let's
me
go 21.
what is your favorite thing about your own parents?
By my own appearance.
Your own
Oh,
parents. Sorry, I said that wrong. Your
oh,
own
my own
parents.
parents. Somebody
Yeah,
said appearance. I was
I
about
know
to
it
say
did.
that's a shift, but
Yeah, yeah,
um, so about my own parents, I'll go with my pops first, just because my favorite thing about him is that he was able to, you know, accept my peace offering, quote unquote, and just, put the past behind and move on. Like we started a new
yeah.
relationship just, off the rip. You know what I mean? Without having any preconceived thoughts or anything, So, I give him that. He's pretty mild mannered. He's, pretty good dude. And
That's
my
what's up.
favorite thing about my mom is just, man, she's everything. It's like she's not just my mama. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah,
Uh, and I say that because she was always the school mom. Everybody knew her. She was always at the school, neighborhood. Anybody needed anything, she was always there to get it. To this day,
yeah.
she's still like that. You know,
Mm,
she's gonna give. They always say she give the shirt off her back. But she's just that person. Like she's that giving and that supportive to everybody around her. I think I got that from her.
that's
Just
dope.
because I like to give, I like to support people, I like to help people any way I can. I have no doubt that came from her.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And
All
not
right,
to
got
mention,
one
I
last.
have a whole. Oh, hold on,
Go
just
ahead.
one
Sorry.
side note. I
Yeah,
told
yeah,
her
yeah.
this too. I have a whole new respect for her because she had two teenage boys in the house. Um, and I got a 9 and a 5 year old that can eat. And I'm just like, man, I have a whole new respect for you. You was by
I
yourself
haven't
with
even
two
got to that
teenage
point
boys
yet,
in the
but
house.
yeah,
Hey, man, they boys, they could eat. I'm like, hey,
that's
man,
what's
this is what it was like. Is this what it
dang.
was? But man, so yeah.
That's
So
what's
big
up.
up to my
Okay,
mom on that one too.
big up to mommy. That's what's up. So give me your
Yeah.
give me the last number that you got.
Last number, let's go with 7.
Everybody always pick 7. It never
Well, my
fails.
birthday is on the 7th, so
That's fine.
I'll
It
be on the
doesn't
7th.
matter. I'm saying as many as I've done of these, I would
Somebody always
say
say 7.
yes, yes. Which is the very best Christmas present you have received or given someone else?
Oh man, best Christmas present received or given.
Yeah.
I'd say the best Christmas present I received was probably 1990 when we first got the Nintendo.
Mm,
Um, and that's because we knew what it was. Because I,
yeah.
scraped the little part off the box and I saw NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. So yeah, that was ecstatic. I used to go to school and lie. My boys be like, "Yeah, I was playing this and that." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's dope, ain't it? Yeah, I'm gonna probably play when I get home." No, good well, I didn't have a Nintendo yet, but
That's crazy. He was oh
but
my
just go and
god, you were
lie.
capping for
Oh,
real.
big capping, big capping.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
we
what's up.
got it. We knew we had it, but my sister we had opened it, so she was petty enough. She took out and he just set the box up on top of it. Remember the old school TV that sat on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? The old school
Yes, I
TV?
do.
Yeah. So she just set the
100%.
Nintendo box up there after we opened it. And She had let us open it for like 2 or 3 days. It just had to sit on top of the TV. So we watching TV, just staring up at the Nintendo box. You can't even open it. But yeah, I'd probably say that's probably the best one. Just thinking back that I've gotten.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Given wise, man. I mean, I like to give, so it's hard to narrow it down. I will say this though. I'll tell you a funny gift that I've given.
Okay.
Where I thought I won. I mean, I thought I won for real. This was gonna be the best gift at the time. We was in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I found my man that sold the purses. He sold the purses. My wife a coach head, so she loves all
Mm,
coach everything. So my man was like, "Oh yeah, man, you ain't got to go to Macy's and this and that to buy them coach purses. I got them for $45." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool.
no
Hey,
doubt.
now mind you, you already know where it's going, I'm sure. So I'm thinking I'm doing it big. I done got a bonus. Hey man, you know what? Give me four of them joints. I want all four of the colors that you got. One was a nice silver. It was a brown. It was like a red, and the other one was like the light, the new buck coach color. So man, I'm thinking I done won. I'm thinking I done won big, because she a coach here. Like I said at the time, I think she only had one or two coach bags. So I'm like, cool, this gonna be it. So I puffed my chest all out when she go to open it up. I'm like, yeah, you gonna see. Man, she opened it. She's like, oh, okay, time to educate you. These are fake because the
Oh wow.
seeds shouldn't be together like this. And it was a whole
Wow.
lesson, boy. It was deflating. I was like, come on, man. We supposed to be in bliss right now. You supposed to open these four purses and see these four big old bags and man, just
Well,
jump over it.
ignorance was bliss.
It's
That's what it
supposed to
sounds
be,
like.
hey, it was supposed to be great, but I
That's
laugh
funny.
about it now, boy. But it hurt at the time. But I was like, boy, I thought I won. I'm talking
I'm
about
sure.
like they was instantly fake, but what's crazy now? I mean, I ain't bought another fake one. But what's crazy now? Ever since that day, anytime I see a coach person, I'm looking to see if it's fake. And I can tell, I'm like,
that's
ooh, she
that's
thinks she's killing it right now, but that coach is fake. I'm like, dang, your outfit is
oh,
nice,
that's
boo, but
hilarious.
that's a fake purse, homie.
That's
I always
funny.
looking at it, man. It's crazy.
That's what's up. I got two
Yeah,
more
man.
questions, bro. The
Yo,
second to last question is: which TV dad, with past or present, would you say that you share or have similar characteristics with?
all right. So I'm like a perfect mixture of both. Um,
Okay.
Bill Cosby,
Okay.
Heathcliff Huxtable,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because I like life lessons. They always did the life lesson. There's always gonna be some kind of life lesson in it. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what? No, go ahead and do that, and you're gonna see why. I said that wasn't a good idea, or
Yeah.
and they like to have fun household. We have fun. We always doing mini golf or playing on the game together or just something.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I'd say Heathcliff Huxtable. But on the flip side of that, it's James Evans you know when you're in trouble or it's time to hey man, no, some stuff is just non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I've tried
That's
to
what's up.
reduce the James Evans over the years, and I have. But every now and then it's like hey, look, no, it's no negotiation.
Yeah.
Now it is what it is.
That's
So
what's up.
I'd say a cross between those two.
That's what's up. I appreciate you for sharing that. The last question is how do you want to be remembered by your kids? What would you want them to say about you?
I want them to say that they had fun with me, that that they learned how to be a man for me,
Mm,
and that if when my demise comes, that by the time that I'm no longer in their lives, that they will be able to say, now I understand, why he was so hard on me. I understand why he was hard on me, and I've learned the lessons of why he was hard on me, so I can be my own man. And now I realize what he wanted me to be. But they
that's
already
what's up.
know that that my work ethic is what it is. I'm always working. I'm always doing something. And so they'll be able to say that. But most important, I want them to know the times that I was hard on you, I understand and I thank you. because they don't understand it now, but
Right.
at some point, it'll kick in is what I'm hoping that they understand, why, you know, even though we have fun, we wrestle together, we do all this stuff together, but you understood why I was so hard on you. And, you were able to say, I understand, I get it. And because you were hard on me, I am, the man I am now.
That's what's up. I really appreciate this,
Cool.
Deldrick. This has been dope. Hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Oh man,
And to all those
absolutely.
out for sure, and all those that are listening, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to build a major community of humble dads and change the world in that regard. And so, without any more of me talking, it's you have the last word to say whatever you would like to say to the people.
Oh man,
So,
like
what
I
would you
said, I
like
just
to? Mhm.
appreciate it, man, and just my last word to the people is just find the balance in your parenting. That's something that I'm still, just striving for. Not being hard all the time, but definitely not being, soft to a point where you a pushover and spoiling the kids, but definitely find your balance and have fun with them, man. Have fun with them.
That's what's up. Well, that's all our time. Thanks for tuning in to Humble Dad, episode number 65. And we out of here. Until next time, deuces.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you again, brother.
Thank you.